Well, hello, my beautiful peeps. Thank you very much for tuning into Ampika's podcast and YouTube channel. We have got a beautiful gift in store for you guys today. And guess what it is? It's 12 steps of sheer indulgence to build up your self-worth and self-esteem. Haven't we, Diane?
We have, yeah. Hi, Diane Swain here. Thank you for joining us. We're really looking forward to this podcast.
We want to give a little gift of ourselves from us to you and make you feel fantastic about yourself. Do you know why? Because you've got a God-given right to feel amazing.
Okay, so we've got 12 steps to healthy self-esteem. We're just going to run through them and then we'll revisit one at a time in more detail.
Okay, so the first step is step number 1. Know yourself and love yourself.
Point 2 is live and do things that make you feel good.
Number 3, understand what makes you feel great.
Number 4 is recognise the things that get you down.
Number 5 is set goals to achieve what you want.
Point 6 is develop friendships that make you feel good about yourself.
Point 7 is don't be afraid to ask for help.
Point 8 is stand up for your beliefs and your values.
Number 9 is to help somebody else.
Number 10, take responsibility for your own actions.
Number 11 is to take good care of yourself.
And number 12, learn to say no.
So that is a starting point. 12 tiny steps of making you boost your own self-esteem and self-worth. So Diane and I are going to break it down now and talk about each little step and talk about our own personal experiences, how to make your life sprinkle that little bit of self-love and self-magic, because that's what we're here to do, isn't it, Diane?
It is, absolutely, yeah. So point 1 is know yourself and love yourself.
Oh God, where do I start? I'm the queen of self-loathing.
Go for it,
Ampika. I've just managed now to finally get on the rung of the ladder of self-love. That has been, oh gosh, a journey. How do you start to love yourself, especially if you haven't had sometimes the best experiences in life, or you've come out of something that's been really traumatic and a situation has totally broken you down where you don't know how to even look in the mirror and say that you care about yourself and love yourself. I would just go back to simple affirmations and simply looking at yourself, taking all your makeup off, man or a woman, and staring in that mirror and saying, I deserve to be loved. Myself, I deserve to give myself some self-love. And once you start putting those seeds into your mind, you'll start doing the actions that are simulated in the mindset. When the actions and the mindset are synchronized together, that's when the magic begins. So many people sit at home and think, yeah, I should do this, I should do that. But the actions and the mindset are not in sync. And once they do come together, it's very powerful. And you start that journey of self-love.
Yeah, you know, like we were just saying before over lunch as well, that, you know, people can't accept compliments. They find it really difficult to accept compliments. What we want to say to you is anybody gives you a compliment, take it with grace and say thank you, because that then feeds into your subconscious and it feeds your self-esteem. And it might sound daft, but it's absolutely proved, you know. You accept those, they're like a gift off people. Somebody saying, you know, you look beautiful, you look gorgeous, Ampika, and you say to me like, you, you know, whereas I see so many people so often go, oh, this old thing, I've just put it on, you know, because they're just pushing that compliment away, aren't they? So if we absorb those compliments, it feeds our self-esteem. Even if we're not actually seeing it, it absolutely happens.
And I think for a starting point as well is giving the compliments to yourself, and it's very, very hard. But once you start giving yourself a nice compliment, I personally love makeup, as you can see. I've always got my lashes on, I've always got my lipstick on. This is just me. But I do things to make myself feel nice, and this makes me feel nice. So if I don't get a compliment off anyone today, it doesn't really matter, because I've given myself a compliment. Become self-sufficient, not dependent on others for love, for reassurance, for compliments. I depend on myself.
Yeah, that's so important, isn't it? Absolutely. And then that means that you're not rocked by things. So if somebody says something bad about you, you don't have to absorb it, do you?
No.
Bring in all the positive stuff, but then knock away the negative stuff. We don't need it. It's not nice, and you don't want it for
Very true.
know, into your subconscious. So all the positive stuff.
Okay, on to the next step. Live and do the things that make you feel good.
Right, we've got lots of those, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about it. in a nutshell, what makes me feel good is doing something that's rewarding. I find motherhood at times very challenging, but when me and my son are getting on fantastic and we spend quality time together, that makes me feel good. When I go to work and it's a stress-free environment and the phone lines are busy and we're doing well in what we're doing, that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
My relationship, when I'm getting on really well with my partner, who I've been with for like over 10 years, and we're getting on really well, and I feel that he understands me and I understand him, and we have a lot of love and laughter and fun in our relationship. That's what makes me feel good. And last but not least, my animals are my world. When they jump on my bed at night and I just give them all a little furry little kiss, that's what makes me feel good. So I make sure I try to balance all of those things every day. You can't always balance them, you can't always master it, but I try my hardest, and that's what makes me feel good.
Yeah, I think I emulate that. I mean, for me, it's family first, absolutely. My gorgeous children, my gorgeous husband, and then it's about reaching out and helping people. And, you know, the team that we've got here doing this and bringing all you guys into our living room to sort of share all these tips about self-help and development, that feel-good factor through helping people and what we're doing together, pushing forward for that is huge satisfaction, isn't it?
And sometimes you've got to make sacrifices as well. I mean, going back to when I did Housewives, I got to a certain point where it's very exciting. I was very grateful in a way to be chosen to film nearly 3 years, but at some point I lost the balance of all those things that I've just said that make me happy, make me feel satisfied and make me feel good about myself. I was losing time with my son, I lost my time with my business, I lost the time with my animals. My relationship suffered because I wasn't in a happy or good place. So as a knock-on effect, so sometimes you have to eliminate certain things to make way, to give your energy and time to other things.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so point 3 is understanding what makes you feel great. And that's, we've sort of started to touch on that anyway, but I think what's really important is that we kind of don't always know what makes us feel good, do we? I mean,
I know a bar of chocolate does make me feel good,
yeah,
but obviously in
in
moderation though, in moderation.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, isn't it, that's back to knowing ourselves, isn't it? Because we do things sometimes because we think, well, I should do that, I should go there, and it's taking that out. It's kind of like, well, I could do that actually, but what do I want to do? What really makes me feel good, you know? And part of that is like knowing yourself as well, isn't it? Because we sometimes run around doing lots of things that we should do, but we need to be more discerning, I think, with things that actually make us feel good, you know, particularly in our busy lives.
Yeah, that's very true. Well, I'm just going to throw it out there. What makes me feel good is a great sex session with my boyfriend, with someone who makes me feel amazing. Sex, I cannot tell you how amazing it is if you're with someone who you absolutely adore. Sex is a fantastic stress relief. It's a way to express yourself, express your body, anything, even like going to the gym. For me, it's not just working on my body, it's working on my mind state, my mental state as well.
Yeah.
That's what makes me feel good. As well as chocolate, guys.
Yeah. And clearly when you talk about the sex as well, but you know, that's obviously important to millions and millions of people, and I think intimacy as well is so important, isn't it? Which can be something alongside that or completely separate, but it's that connection with people that you love, connection with either your partner, your family, your friends, your animals. It's that level of intimacy that makes you feel good and releases all that serotonin and dopamine and all those gorgeous things.
Very much so.
Okay, so point 5, recognise things that get you down.
Point 4.
Okay. Point 4.
You're getting carried away with yourself there.
Sorry, I was so
Everyone's
excited.
waiting for the 12 steps.
You'll be writing into us saying, they've cheated us, they've missed out on point 4, sorry.
Recognise things that get you down. I think you just have a feeling, don't you? When I go back to like talking about my journal, at the end of each day, I've got my journal on my notepad at the bottom of my bed. It comes out and I reflect on my day of how I felt, because that's a really good point for me.
Yeah.
Even sometimes when my eyelashes are, I'm like this, but no, come on, Ampika, write in your journal. It's really important so I can look back at the end of the week when I've binged on food, or when I've not slept well, or when I've been really cranky, I've not managed to be the best of me. I'll look back on my journal and I'll be able to track back why. There'll be a certain situation or something will have affected me or impacted on my mood. So I'm really, really good at checking in and recognising and establishing it, so I can understand myself better, because the more you understand yourself, the easier it is to look after yourself and love yourself. If I don't understand myself, how can I expect you to understand me?
Yeah,
or the
absolutely.
outside world? You know, we're all bundles of energy. It's really important that you know your own energy and you know who you are, because then you can look after yourself the best way possible. So what gets me down, of course, say most of the time it will be negative people or nasty people or argumentative people or situations that people create.
Bad energy.
That's what we say. It's like, shh, let's get the room deodorizer out. No bad energy, please.
Yeah, I think as well, one tip I always give to clients is that if, you know, they say to me, you know, well, I just feel down, I just feel nothing, you know, so how can I be feeling anything? And it's like, well, feeling nothing is an emotion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Feeling nothing
Emptiness.
is a feeling, absolutely. And it's trying to get them to get underneath that and really put a vocabulary on what they're feeling. So I say to them, which is your idea completely, is do a feelings journal.
Yeah.
You know, every night write down how you are feeling. And if that is flat, try and describe what that flatness means, you know, and what's actually underneath that. And that's like you're saying, that's all part of getting to know yourself. It's amazing how many people they lose sight of who they are. They don't understand who they are. So, you know, all those tips about a journal, an emotional journal, really, really good.
And people are very responsive as well. I mean, when people say to me that they feel sad, I'll go right up to the face and invade their personal space, and I'll just smile in the face. And they won't help it.
Gorgeous.
They have to smile back.
I know.
Because we're all in tune with each other. So I smile, they smile, I put my arms around them, they instinctively want to put their arms around me, and there you go. For a split second, the sadness has melted, because as human beings, we have such an impact on each other, don't we?
Of course we do. We need each other.
100%.
Human beings are not designed to be on their own. They want that connection, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all of those different
Even
ways.
with strangers, sometimes when we're walking the dogs in the park, and I've got very unruly dogs, people, so if you see me and I go, don't come near my dogs.
It's Ampika.
I try to give a smile, because, you know, I don't want that person to walk past without me. Look, it's infectious. I'm going to share my happiness with you.
But it costs nothing, does it?
Very
it costs
true.
nothing for people to be like that.
Very true. So, number 6. Oh no, number 5.
You see,
I'm doing it now.
Doing it now.
I'm doing
She's
it
racing ahead.
Right.
Okay.
Set goals to achieve what you want.
Yeah, I think goal setting is really important. I don't know what you think about that, but I know, you know, working with the clients that I work with, one of the biggest things I do actually is setting goals. So that they can, you know, take bite-sized, manageable chunks about what we're doing. So many people in today's society become overwhelmed, which leads to stress, anxiety, etc. So I think if you can just, they only have to be simple goals, don't they? Like, you know, I'm going to do this on Saturday and I'll do that on Monday, or I do want to start my own business, so what are the steps to do? Or I do want to disconnect with that friend because she's been mean to me, or whatever it might be. I think to actually write it down as a goal is that commitment. I will go to the gym. You know, anything like that. I think setting goals that are achievable are really important. Do you set goals?
Oh my God, I'm like the gold queen. I absolutely love writing goals, and I think, do you know what, there's something really magical about doing goals. It's not just task goals of like for the things that you need to do this week. When you think back to like your childhood state, and we had these like really vivid dreams, and our imaginations used to run away with ourselves as children, and you dream of being this princess or this prince and life being really idyllic. It sends your mind into this beautiful like candy floss state of mind, and I think it's really powerful never to stop dreaming and believing. I think your goals and your beliefs, I mean, I always visualize my life and see what's going to be around me. And I think everything I've brought into my life, I've manifested and I've asked for, and it's come true. So I'm a big believer in dreaming, and never stop having goals and dreams, and never let anybody or yourself be the prophecy of doom or ever break them, because we're all entitled to dream. That's the only thing you've got control over is your own mind, your own mindset. And I do believe with hard work and the mindset and the actions being put together will create a positive outcome.
Yeah, I think as well, don't you, that we lose at a certain age. We almost stop dreaming for a while.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm not quite sure when it is, but it seems to me round about adolescent kind of thing that stuff gets serious. I think hormones kick in, puberty, all of that. and now obviously social media and all the pressures of that, which is another side of things. But I think that, like you say, when we're growing up and we want to be princesses or nurses or what pop stars, whatever we want to be, and we think of, or a vet or whatever it might be, that's all. That it's gorgeous, and we have this thing inside us, don't we, that says we can be whatever we want to be. And then somewhere along the way that gets lost, doesn't it? And I think that we should try and go back to that and reignite what we really thought about and what we wanted. And I know you've done that, because you told me loads of times, you know, and I think that to dream big and to maybe go back to your childhood dreams and think about...
it's wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
Honestly.
But we do forget. It's a bit like the Peter Pan syndrome, isn't it? You know, and watching that film when he was that little boy doing all these things, and then he gets stuck in his London job. He forgets his imagination, he forgets how to dream and everything, and then he flips right back. I think that's...
I mean, I love it. I always check in and watch Disney movies, and one of my favourite all-time films is Big. You know what I mean? Big. And you forget about like be childlike. Life is fun. Let's make it fun. It's very, very serious. We surround ourselves with problems, and sometimes we need some escapism from everyday shit. Oh, next point.
Okay, so point 6 is developing trusting friendships that make you feel good. And I think that, you know, we've talked about this many, many times, haven't we? How important to have that secure, trusted bubble around you of people that you care about, you know they genuinely care about you, and that you trust them. Trust is huge. Trust is everything, actually, isn't it? In a foundation type sense. I
don't know what I'd do without my friends, because I don't have a relationship with my mother or father, and there's no brothers and sisters. Friends for me are vital.
They're your
lucky.
Family you choose, aren't they? Your
very
friends.
much so. I don't know what I do. Like, I check in with my friends. I'm very open. I have a very, very open and honest relationship with my friends. I have very intense friendships. I cultivate very intense friendships, and I'm a extremely loyal and sincere friend, and expect that back. We're almost like a pack. Me and my girlies, and I don't know what I'd do without them. They pick you up on the days when you feel like poo, and they make sometimes a day that's full of rain and maybe a grey day, a day full of sunshine. And I like
that's giving me goosebumps.
Yeah, I've got some amazing friends.
That's
I'm very lucky,
so
but friendships are so, so important. If you're blessed with a fantastic family, great. But for those who haven't, and for people that are at home that might feel very lonely and isolated, there's lots of groups and there's lots of things you can do now to create friends. And the internet makes the world a very small place.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just thinking about friends then, actually. I was just thinking that, how important they are, and the trust element, and that we choose our friends carefully, and we build those around us, don't we? I was going to make a point then, but I'll come back to that actually in a minute. Okay, so point 7, don't be afraid to ask for help. I think this is really important, isn't it? It's kind of like that when pride gets in the way, and you're thinking, no, I can't, I don't want to be seen to ask for help. People might think I'm weak, or I can't cope, But I actually think it's a real common problem for people being afraid to ask for help, whether that's help in a counselling sense, and people coming, to people like me, psychotherapists, etc., or just more general terms like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I can't cope, or Ampika, can you just come and give me a hand with this, or whatever. There's all different levels of help, isn't there?
Sometimes you just need a hug.
Yeah.
That's sometimes you just need someone to put their arms around you and just give you a tight squeeze. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
But I think in today's society, people get afraid to do that, don't they? With all the litigation and everything else, and they're scared to maybe show so much affection, either in that sense or the sense that, I'll show I'm vulnerable, I might show I'm weak, and it's such a shame, because if more people in the world gave hugs and, like you do, chase around the park looking for strange people, let me smile at you, let me give you a hug. I mean, that's how gorgeous is that? If more people like that, and that was spread to people, you're saying hello to a lonely old man on a bench who might not have seen somebody for a week or something, and that bit of kindness that you're showing to him could be absolutely everything. And we laugh about it, don't we? Because we want to bring light to such difficult subjects so people can be open about it. But things like that you do make a massive difference to some people.
Well, it's infectious, because that person will carry the smile on, hopefully. It's like pass the parcel. I've got my smile, pass it on to you. Next step, number 8, stand up for your beliefs and values.
Yeah,
that can get you into trouble. We live in a very PC world where we can't say too much, otherwise we can easily offend someone. And unfortunately, we've got too many people in nowadays society that are looking to be offended. So sometimes it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because people are in big families, they're in relationships, and they have also got people in their lives that have got very strong opinions and values. So I would just strip it back to, in terms of my belief, I would go into what I deem the way I should be treated and how I should treat other people.
Yeah.
And, you know, I look to have friendships, people in my life that give me the integrity and give me the respect that I give them.
Yeah.
And that's as much as I can say in terms of standing up for your beliefs. I treat people how I want to be treated myself.
Yeah,
and I expect that back. And if someone can't meet me halfway, then there's no point really having them in my life.
Yeah, I think that's a wonderful basis. I think that respect is the vein that runs through everything, isn't it? Like, you can't have proper love, I don't think, without respect. I think that that's fundamental. Yeah. And I think that, from my point of view, I think, you know, I have some very strong beliefs about certain things, and faith and spirituality, like we talk about. And I think that it's knowing maybe when to keep that quiet, because it's so personal, isn't it? Beliefs and values don't always need to be shouted about.
No, they don't.
Know, and I know we see people that may do that from time to time. And like you say, it does get you into trouble. But I think what's important for every age group really is to, even if you don't feel you can verbalise it, is actually to know what they are inside, to know what your values are, to know what your morals and beliefs are, and absolutely stay true to that, because there are so many people that will try and knock that, drag you over here, drag you over there, but standing true to what you believe, really you shouldn't go far wrong, I don't think.
No, I would agree with you.
Okay, so point 9, help someone else. Yeah, very important.
I think there's got to be limitations on this one, because we see a lot of people in life that are broken and that have been broken, that find it easier to try and find another injured bird and nurture them and look after them, because sometimes they don't want to deal with looking after themselves. It's easier, sometimes people find it easier to look after somebody else than it is to look after themselves.
So you would be going into the rescuer mode there, because that's what you want to do. You want to save every animal and save every person, like you told me that story.
I've learned not to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Because you have to put yourself first 100%. In order to help other people, 100%. Don't you?
Because sometimes it's easier to look after somebody else than it is to look after and face your own core problems.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, it is really kind to help somebody else, but only when you are in a good place. And that doesn't make you a selfish person. That's just being honest.
Yeah, and I think help can come in other ways, can't it? Like actually enabling somebody. So rather than doing it for them, you show them how to do it. Yeah. And then that you know, that actually enables them, and it's more sustainability on that. I know when I used to work for the charity, what we were blessed with being able to do was going into people's homes that were more vulnerable and needed help, and put a support structure in place that would enable them to carry on doing things for themselves, rather than perhaps just throwing a load of money at a situation that would only last a period of time, you know, because we're all about sustainability, aren't we? So teaching somebody how to help themselves is far better in a way than just dishing it out immediately, and like you say, really exhausting yourself, because we've all got our limitations.
Just remember, guys, on the aeroplane, when the gas mask comes down, you have to put your first mask on yourself before you can help others.
That is so
just
true.
Remember that one.
That is so true, yeah. Okay, my absolute favourite, and something I'm always saying to the children, take responsibility for your own actions. Yeah. You know, and that's so true, isn't it? Yeah. You know, and I think that is so empowering as well. I know from being very, very small, I was always want to take responsibility for my own actions, good or bad, actually, and I think that helps develop people in a really positive way, because it makes you master then of your own stuff, doesn't it? Nobody else can control that, in a sense, because like, I'm really sorry I did it, whether it's good or bad, but I've learnt from that, and then I'm going to move on.
I think unfortunately we have very much this blame culture, don't we? Blaming other people for everything that's gone wrong. And I think sometimes when you take responsibility, not everything, because not everything is always your fault, but when you look at some of the situations that you put yourself in by choices, when we get into adults, you know, a lot of our problems we do bring upon ourselves with our own life choices sometimes, and with the people that we choose to obviously cohabit with, etc., etc. Taking responsibility for your own actions lightens the load up, because when you carry guilt, you carry blame, you want to point the finger continuously. That's a very, very heavy weight to bear.
Yeah.
So just cut the shackles and sometimes hold your hands up and just say, do you know what? I'll take responsibility for my own shit and let's park it there and let's move on.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It just clears the mind space as well.
And also, when you're blaming somebody else, you can't do anything about it, can you?
No.
You know, you've not got that control and empowerment within your own hands, because it's like, oh, it's their fault. So you're giving your power away in a sense, aren't
Very
you?
much so.
Yeah.
Let's have a
Okay.
look.
So point 11, take good care of yourself. Very, very, very important.
From head through to toe, it's a very, very, very special cargo. And I'm talking not just you and I'm talking all you guys that are watching. You are very special. And I look at it in the fact of like, how would you treat a child? If you've got a newborn baby, what would you do? You would smother it with love, affection. You would nurture and care for it. Well, you're no different. You are your own inner child. So everything that you would do in terms of looking after a best friend or looking after a newborn baby, that's how you should treat yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's so true. When I do work, when we go back into people's with psychotherapy and we go back and look at people at, you know, when they were 5, 6, etc., and it's getting them to honour that child within them, you know, particularly from traumatic episodes as well, and reconnecting with that child inside them. And it can be so powerful, that. And then from inside out, like you say, looking after yourself. Yourself is the most important thing.
Yeah.
And as a mum, we both know that, don't we? Look after ourselves, because then we can look after our children,
people.
you know,
Yeah.
and other people. Yeah. Okay. So point 12, last but by no means least, learn to say no. The most powerful word ever.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Oh, no, I would agree with that. I look at it like you've only got so many bars of energy a day, and I can't give every single aspect of my life 100%. So I have to fraction everything out. And I've literally got some stones upstairs, and there's 8 stones, and I look at it as my daily task of what I've got to do. So sometimes if people are putting pressure on me or external influences and are trying to squeeze every bit out of me, I have to just say no, because I've got to concentrate on the things that are important. So get your journal out, go and get some little blocks from a toy store and get your building blocks and write on all your building blocks what these are to you, whether it's family, whether it's friends, whether it's your work life, whether it's your children, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your animals, whatever it is. These are the blocks. You cannot literally build a house overnight. Concentrate on the blocks that are important to you. Anything else, anything external, we cannot take on board. Otherwise, we compress ourselves, we overload ourselves, and then life becomes overwhelming. So don't do it to yourself.
No. Okay, yeah, thank you for that. I'm a people pleaser, you see, or I used to be. So saying no to me was a hard one to learn. It really was. But I think because I always used to feel like a bad person, so I had to say yes to everything. So I think it took me a great number of years to learn to actually say no and learn how healthy that was. So yeah, very powerful word.
I hope, guys, you've enjoyed our 12 steps of self-esteem. I hope any of those little bits of information there have resonated with you at home, and you're thinking, do you know what, ladies? I've loved it. Thank you. I've had a few aha moments, and I'm going to take that on board, note it, get my journal out, and start living it. These little baby footsteps can make your life so much easier. So please tune in, subscribe to our wonderful channel. We're here to help. We want to be the fairy godmothers that make a difference in your life. We want to hear from you guys. Please drop us an email, peekaboopeeps@gmail.com. The spelling is down below. Please press the button to subscribe. I want to see you guys next week. Mwah!
Bye.